From a young age, we've been programmed to believe that accumulation is the path to happiness, that if we achieve enough success and wealth, we'll finally feel complete. But what if that's all a lie? What if the secret to a truly fulfilling life lies not in excess, but in the subtle beauty of simplicity? Welcome to a journey to uncover the priceless benefits of minimalism, things nobody tells you about. Picture a life where you're not weighed down by excess stuff, packed schedules, or the pressure to keep up with trends. Instead, you find joy in small moments, genuine relationships, and the freedom to live true to your values. Simple living isn't just about decluttering your home or owning less. It's a profound approach that lets you reclaim control over your time, mind, and heart. In this video, we'll explore why living simply has the power to transform your life. From boosting mental health and saving money to building deeper, more meaningful connections, you'll discover that less can often mean more. Are you ready to leave behind the chaos and embrace a lighter, more fulfilling life? Join me as we uncover the secrets modern society doesn't want you to know. Is it true that the more you own, the happier you are? Have you ever felt like life is a relentless race, where you're sprinting toward a finish line that keeps moving farther away? The world screams at us that success is about more money, more possessions, more status, more responsibilities. From a young age, we're conditioned to equate accumulation with happiness, as if piling up achievements and belongings will somehow complete us. But what if we've been sold a lie? What if the secret to a truly fulfilling life isn't found in excess, but in the elegance of simplicity? Let's pause and dig deeper. Why do we chase complexity? Why do we crave bigger houses, flashier cars, and schedules so packed they leave us gasping for air? The answer lies in the stories we've been told since childhood. Society paints life as a ladder, each rung representing a new milestone, better job, bigger paycheck, shinier toys. We are taught that progress means climbing higher, always striving for the next big thing. But have you ever stopped mid-climb to ask, where is this ladder actually taking me? Is the view from the top worth the exhaustion, or are we just chasing a mirage? Picture this. You wake up in a sprawling home filled with designer furniture, high-end appliances, and the latest gadgets. Your closet brims with luxury brands, and your garage houses a car that turns heads. On the surface, it's the picture of success, but beneath the glossy veneer lies a hidden cost. Every item you own demands your time and energy. That sleek coffee table needs polishing. The smart home system needs updates, and the car needs servicing. Each purchase isn't just a transaction. It's a contract, binding you to a cycle of maintenance, upgrades, and replacements. Without realizing it, we become prisoners of the very things we thought would set us free. Now let's rewrite the story. Imagine a different life, one where your home holds only what you truly need and cherish. Every object serves a purpose, from the sturdy chair you sit in to the single mug you sip your morning coffee from. Your calendar isn't a chaotic mosaic of obligations, but a canvas of meaningful moments, time with loved ones, quiet evenings with a book, or walks in nature that recharge your soul. In this world, distractions don't drown you. Instead, you have the clarity to focus on what lights you up. Simplicity isn't about sacrifice, it's about freedom. When we let go of the unnecessary, we make room for what truly nourishes us. Think back to the last time you sat in stillness, free from the ping of notifications or the nagging pressure to be productive. Maybe it was a quiet morning before the world woke up, or a moment when you turned off your phone and just breathed. How did it feel? Wasn't there something deeply grounding, almost sacred about it? We've been tricked into believing that complexity equals sophistication, that a life of constant hustle is a life well lived. But consider this. What if the greatest minds in history, think Buddha, Socrates, or Thoreau, didn't thrive because they filled their lives with noise, but because they mastered the art of simplicity? They stripped life down to its essence, finding wisdom in the quiet spaces where clarity blooms. The real question is, do we have the courage to break free? It takes guts to step off the treadmill of endless consumption and choose a path that's quieter, less flashy, but infinitely more rewarding. Simplicity isn't just about decluttering your home, it's about decluttering your mind. How many of your worries are self-inflicted? How much of your stress comes from saying yes to things you didn't want, just because you felt you should? Every overcommitted schedule, every impulse purchase, every chase for the next shiny thing, it's all a choice. And we can choose differently. When we embrace simplicity, we reclaim what matters most: our time, our energy, our peace. We stop running after more and start savoring enough. But what does enough mean to you? Have you ever paused to define it, or are you caught in a cycle of chasing a horizon that never gets closer? Most of us haven't. We're so busy running that we forget to ask whether the destination even aligns with our deepest desires. Here's a challenge to spark some introspection. If you could keep only 5 material possessions in your life, what would they be? A worn journal that holds your thoughts? A guitar that's been with you through every heartbreak? A photo of someone you love? Write them down and ask yourself why they matter. You might be surprised to find that the things you value most aren't the ones with the highest price tag. This exercise reveals a profound truth. Most of what we accumulate isn't essential to our happiness. The world measures success by how much we have, but what if true success is about how little? We need to feel whole. What if the richest person isn't the one with the biggest bank account, but the one who wakes up content with what they already have? Let's take it a step further. Simplicity isn't just about stuff. It's a mindset that ripples into every corner of your life. It's choosing deep, meaningful relationships over shallow social obligations. It's prioritizing a single passion project over juggling 10 half-hearted commitments. It's saying no to the noise so you can say yes to what sets your soul on fire. When we simplify, we create space for creativity, for rest, for joy. We stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. But here's the catch. Simplicity isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. The world will keep tempting you with shiny distractions, new gadgets, trendy lifestyles, the pressure to keep up. Choosing simplicity means resisting that pull over and over, because you know what's at stake: your peace, your clarity, your freedom. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Every time you let go of something that doesn't serve you, you're carving out space for what does. So let's sit with the big question. What if everything we've been taught about fulfillment is wrong? What if happiness isn't a prize you win by collecting more, but a gift you uncover by letting go? Imagine a life where you're not weighed down by excess, where your home, your schedule, and your mind feel light and free. That life is possible, and it starts with a single brave choice: to stop chasing more and start embracing enough. Try this today. Pick one area of your life, your closet, your calendar, your to-do list, and simplify it. Donate that pile of clothes you haven't worn in years. Cancel that obligation you've been dreading. Cross off a task that doesn't truly matter. Notice how it feels. That lightness, that clarity, that's the power of simplicity. And it's just the beginning. The world will keep telling you that happiness lies in having it all. But deep down, you know the truth. The richest life isn't the one with the most stuff. It's the one with the least need. So what are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to make space for? The path to true fulfillment is simpler than you think, and it's waiting for you to take the first step. Why having less gives you more. In a world overflowing with options, we often mistake abundance for freedom. We walk into supermarkets with hundreds of cereal brands, browse thousands of movies on streaming services, and scroll endlessly through social media. We're bombarded with infinite choices. The modern world promises that the more options we have, the better off we'll be. But have you ever stopped to wonder, does having more options actually make us happier? Or does it quietly imprison us in a cycle of indecision, anxiety, and dissatisfaction? Psychologist Barry Schwartz describes this as the paradox of choice. The more options we have, the harder it becomes to make a decision. And even when we do choose, we're haunted by the thought that maybe we could have chosen something better. This applies not just to products, but to life itself. We're constantly told we can be anything, do anything, achieve anything. But instead of feeling liberated, we often feel overwhelmed. We hesitate, we second guess, and we struggle to commit, because every decision feels like a gamble, every path not taken a source of potential regret. But what if the key to happiness wasn't in expanding our choices, but in willingly limiting them? What if true freedom comes not from having everything, but from deeply valuing the few things that truly matter? Imagine a life where your mind isn't cluttered with unnecessary decisions, a life where you wake up and know exactly what you need to do, where you're not drowning in distractions but fully present in the moment. Doesn't that sound like a relief? Minimalism isn't just about decluttering your home, it's about decluttering your mind. Every possession, every commitment, every extra responsibility demands a sliver of your attention. And attention, more than anything, is our most valuable resource. The world is constantly fighting for it. Advertisers, social media, the endless stream of notifications buzzing in our pockets. But have you ever asked yourself, who or what is truly worthy of my attention? Am I giving it to things that enrich my life, or am I wasting it on things that add nothing to my well-being? Consider this. When was the last time you sat with your thoughts undisturbed? No phone, no background noise, just you and your own mind. If that idea makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Why do we constantly seek external stimulation? Why do we fear stillness? The truth is, we often use distractions to escape ourselves. We fill our lives with unnecessary complexity because simplicity forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths we've been avoiding. Simplicity is an act of courage. It requires us to strip away the excess and face what remains. Without the noise of constant consumption, we are left with something raw and undeniable, our true selves. And that can be terrifying because it forces us to ask hard questions. Who am I when I'm not defined by what I own? What do I truly value? What do I want my life to stand for? There is profound power in knowing exactly what matters to you. When we simplify, we reclaim control over our own lives. We stop letting the world dictate our desires and instead define them for ourselves. But this is where most people struggle, because choosing a simple life often means going against the grain. It means rejecting the idea that more is always better. It means letting go of the illusion that external achievements will bring internal peace. Think about it. How much of what you chase is truly for you, and how much is simply an attempt to meet society's expectations? How many of your goals are rooted in genuine passion, and how many are just unconscious imitations of what you think you should want? The moment you start questioning this, you begin to reclaim your freedom. Many of the world's wisest individuals, from ancient philosophers to modern thinkers, have embraced simplicity as the path to clarity. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled over one of the most powerful civilizations in history, constantly reminded himself that power, fame, and wealth were fleeting illusions. He understood that true contentment comes not from external accumulation, but from internal mastery. The same lesson echoes through the writings of Thoreau, who retreated to the woods not out of deprivation, but out of a desire to live deliberately, to strip life down to its essentials and see what truly remained. So ask yourself, what would happen if you simplified your life? If you stopped chasing goals that don't fulfill you? If you let go of possessions that don't serve you? If you cut out distractions that drain you? What would you be left with? Maybe for the first time you'd be left with clarity. Maybe you'd finally have the space to focus on what truly brings you joy. Maybe you'd discover that happiness isn't something you find out there, but something that emerges when you remove everything that isn't it. The world will always try to convince you that you need more money, more possessions, more accomplishments. But what if the real secret to fulfillment isn't in adding, but in subtracting? What if the person who has the most isn't the one who has acquired the most, but the one who needs the least? If you could remove everything unnecessary from your life, what would remain? Would it be enough, or would it in fact be more than enough? We rarely stop to consider the silent weight of the things we own. Every object in our possession carries a psychological burden, a quiet demand for our attention. The more we accumulate, the heavier this weight becomes, until one day, without realizing it, we find ourselves trapped beneath the very things we once thought would bring us happiness. But what if the secret to a truly fulfilling life isn't found in having more, but in embracing less? Welcome to a journey that will challenge everything you've been taught about happiness and reveal the priceless benefits of living simply. Why does this happen? Why do the things we own, instead of setting us free, end up owning us? It starts with a simple illusion, the belief that acquiring more will make us feel secure. From childhood, we're conditioned to equate success with accumulation. A bigger house promises comfort. A fancier car signals status. More clothes, gadgets, or furniture each seem to fill a void we may not even fully understand. Society tells us that these things are the markers of a good life. But do they deliver on that promise? Or do they just create new desires, new reasons to chase the next thing? The truth is, possessions don't just take up physical space. They occupy mental space. Every object requires maintenance. That new phone needs updates and repairs. The sprawling wardrobe demands organizing and cleaning. Even the furniture you thought would make your home feel complete needs dusting, rearranging, or replacing. The more we accumulate, the more our lives become entangled in an endless cycle of upkeep. Ask yourself, how many hours have you spent managing your belongings, organizing closets, cleaning rooms, fixing broken items, or finding space for new purchases? Every minute spent on these tasks is a minute stolen from something more meaningful, whether it's time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply resting. Here's the paradox. The more we try to own, the less free we become. We don't just buy things with money, we buy them with our time, energy, and attention. A luxurious house comes with the burden of mortgage payments, repairs, and upkeep. A high-end wardrobe demands constant care and decision fatigue. Even digital possessions, endless apps, streaming subscriptions, and social media feeds compete for our focus, leaving us mentally cluttered and exhausted. At some point, we look around and realize that instead of serving us, our possessions have become our captors. They dictate our schedules, drain our energy, and pull us away from what truly matters. Now imagine the opposite. Picture a life where you own only what adds value to your existence. A life where every object in your home has a purpose, where every item serves you rather than demands something from you. Imagine walking into a space that feels open, unburdened, and peaceful. Doesn't that sound like a breath of fresh air? This is the essence of simplicity, not deprivation, but intentionality. It's about curating your life to remove excess so that what remains is meaningful. It's about choosing quality over quantity, purpose over chaos, and freedom over obligation. But why is letting go so hard? Why do we cling to things even when they no longer serve us? The answer lies in attachment. We associate objects with memories, identities, and emotions. That closet full of unworn clothes isn't just fabric. It's a collection of past selves, future aspirations, and unfulfilled dreams. A cluttered home isn't just a pile of things. It's a reflection of the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we need to be happy. Letting go, then, is not just a physical act, it's a psychological one. It requires us to confront the fears that keep us tethered to excess, the fear of scarcity, the fear of regret, the fear that without these things we might somehow be less. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. When was the last time an object brought you lasting happiness? Not fleeting excitement, but deep, enduring peace. If possessions could truly fulfill us, wouldn't we all have reached contentment by now? The reality is, the pursuit of more only deepens our restlessness. The answer lies not in accumulation, but in detachment. The less we depend on external things for our happiness, the freer we become. Simplicity doesn't mean rejecting all material comfort. It means recognizing that the things we own should enhance our well-being, not control it. Living simply shifts our mindset from consumption to appreciation. Instead of chasing the next purchase, we learn to cherish what we already have. Instead of filling our lives with objects, we fill them with experiences, relationships, and moments of true presence. Think about the most fulfilling moments of your life. Were they defined by what you owned or by what you felt? Was it the car you drove or the journey you took with someone you love? Was it the house you lived in or the laughter that echoed within its walls? When we strip away the unnecessary, we uncover what truly matters. And more often than not, the things that bring us the greatest joy are the ones that cannot be bought. The benefits of simplicity extend far beyond a tidy home. Studies show that reducing clutter can lower stress and improve mental health. When we free ourselves from the constant need to acquire, we also free up financial resources, giving us the flexibility to invest in experiences or save for the future. Simplicity fosters creativity too. When our minds aren't overwhelmed by excess, we have space to think, dream, and innovate. And perhaps most importantly, living simply allows us to deepen our relationships. Without the distractions of material pursuits, we can focus on the people who matter most, building connections that are richer and more meaningful. So how do we start? The journey to simplicity begins with small intentional steps. Start by assessing your possessions. Does each item serve a purpose or bring you joy? If not, consider letting it go. This doesn't mean tossing everything out at once. Simplicity is a process, not a race. Try decluttering one area of your home like a drawer or a shelf and notice how it feels. From there, expand to other areas of your life. Simplify your schedule by saying no to commitments that don't align with your values. Curate your digital space by unsubscribing from unnecessary emails or limiting time on social media. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to a life of freedom and clarity. As you embrace simplicity, you'll discover something remarkable. Letting go doesn't diminish your life, it enriches it. You gain time to pursue what truly matters, whether it's a hobby, a cause, or simply being present with the people you love. You gain mental space to reflect, dream, and grow. Most of all, you gain the courage to redefine happiness on your own terms, free from the pressures of a consumer-driven world. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What possessions, commitments, or distractions are weighing you down? More importantly, what would your life look like if you had the courage to let them go? Because here's the greatest irony of all. In letting go, we gain more than we ever lost. We gain clarity, we gain freedom, we gain the ability to live not for things but for meaning. And in the end, isn't that what we were searching for all along? The unseen wealth of simplicity. Why less is the ultimate luxury? There is a kind of wealth that cannot be measured in bank accounts, square footage, or possessions. It is a wealth invisible to the world, but deeply felt in the soul. It is the wealth of time, of clarity, of inner peace, yet it is the most overlooked wealth of all. We live in a world that glorifies accumulation, that equates success with material abundance, and that tells us happiness lies beyond the next purchase, the next promotion, the next milestone. But what if everything we're searching for is already here, hidden beneath the noise of excess? What if the ultimate luxury in life is not having more but needing less? When we simplify, we reclaim something priceless, our time. Time is the one resource we can never replenish, yet we trade it away so easily, sacrificing hours, days, even years in the pursuit of things we're told we need. We work jobs we don't love to buy things we don't need, hoping to impress people who aren't paying attention. In doing so, we miss the very life we're trying so hard to enhance. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if time belonged to you again, if your days were not dictated by obligations to things you've accumulated, but instead filled with the freedom to pursue what truly matters. What would you do? Who would you become? Simplicity gives us space, not just in our homes, but in our minds. When we remove the unnecessary, we create room for presence, for creativity, for genuine connection. We begin to see beauty in the small things, the way sunlight filters through a window, the sound of laughter in a quiet room, the feeling of deep conversation unburdened by distraction. These are the moments that make life rich, yet they often go unnoticed in the rush of chasing more. Have you ever felt the weight of unnecessary obligations lift from your shoulders? Have you ever experienced the deep exhale that comes with realizing you don't have to keep up, that you don't have to prove anything to anyone? That is the wealth of simplicity. That is the luxury of enough. Perhaps the greatest gift of simplicity is that it forces us to redefine success. In a world that measures worth in possessions, choosing to live with less is a radical act. It is a statement that says, I am enough as I am. I do not need external validation to feel complete. This is a kind of freedom that few ever attain, because it requires us to step outside the narrative we've been given. It asks us to stop looking outward for fulfillment and start looking inward. When we do, we realize that happiness was never hiding in things. It was always within us, waiting to be uncovered. So the question is, are you willing to let me go? Are you willing to strip away the excess and see what remains? Are you willing to trade the illusion of security for the reality of freedom? If you are, you might just discover that the life you've been chasing is the one that exists when you stop chasing altogether. Because in the end, the richest life is not the one filled with the most, but the one lived with the deepest sense of meaning. And meaning is never found in what we own. It is found in who we are. The choice is yours. Will you continue to seek fulfillment in things outside yourself, or will you dare to embrace the priceless benefits of living simply, the benefits that nobody tells you about, but that change everything once you experience them? What did you think about today's video? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind or helped you see reality in a new light, don't forget to like and subscribe to Top Hidden Knowledge so you never miss our next deep dive into mystery, perception, and the hidden workings of our universe. And if you have time, explore more videos on our channel. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning the world around you.